I've just been sick and tired of being optimistic about it because at training camp something looks good or not good. But I will say this. Now the optimism. Ezekiel Elliott did something that Dallas Cowboys players do not do under Jerry Jones, is they're honest in their evaluation with themselves and how they played. Zeke was not a good running back last year, was not a good running back the year before. And then they do something about it, right? Jerry's just all talk. Like at the press conference, he just talks. He doesn't do anything to change anything. But Zeke actually looked at his body, looked at his work, and said, this isn't good enough. And I don't care that it's good enough for the Jones family. It's not good enough for me. The Joneses don't care. They're fine with it. Zeke sells the jerseys. It doesn't matter how he plays to the Jones family. As long as they make money off of Zeke, they're happy with it. They don't care actually how he plays. They'll just defend him to their dying day on our radio station. But Zeke actually did something about his lack of production, his 4 yards per carry, 979 yards. You know what the Cowboy way is? The Cowboy way is to say the offensive line was hurt.
Yeah. They
didn't block well enough, and I don't need to do anything. I'm getting paid $17 million. I'm getting paid $1 million a game. What? It's not my fault. It's other people's fault, or it's nobody's fault because my bosses don't care how I do. They just care that they make money off of me. But Zeke did something totally different than the Cowboy way. He actually worked his butt off this offseason, got people to help him in the things that have gotten worse. And so I'm optimistic that Zeke can get back to 2016 Ezekiel Elliott, the number 4 overall pick Ezekiel Elliott, because he did something that Cowboys don't do and don't demand of their players. He worked hard to get better.
So let's go to, I think I want to start with cut 4. He was asked yesterday, where is the weight and how much does nutrition play into it all?
Yeah, I'm like 218 right now. So, I've heard, as you get older in this league, you want to start losing weight. And nutrition, it has played a big part of that. Shout out to my chef, Chef Hoppy. He's been getting me right and getting me lean and getting me ready for the season.
And then we jump into cut 5. Are you quicker now?
I think I'm quicker. I think, I think my trainer, Joshua Hicks, he definitely got me right this offseason, and I thank him a lot just for working with me and just, making it fun and, making me a better player.
And one of the other things that he said was, just having the year I had last year, I don't think you need any more motivation than that. So that's
awesome.
To Mike's point is
responsibility for your actions. If you don't have any, Jerry Jones family, then nothing will change.
So Tolos, 877-881-1053. Are you optimistic as well? Because you go back 2016, his rookie year, you could make a really, really strong argument. He was absolutely the best running back in the league, got votes for MVP, 1,631 yards, 5.1 yards per game, and 15 touchdowns. Then you even look back as recently as 2018. Like, I know the touchdowns weren't there rushing, but in 2018, 1,434 yards rushing, 4.7 yards per carry. And those are the kind of numbers that I would love for us to get back to, because last year, 4 yards a carry. And when people say it's the offensive line, you look back at the year before that, 4.5 yards per carry, which was lower than it was in any non-suspension season.
And that was 84.8 yards per game.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be better than that. I don't want to get to 108.7 his rookie year, as in, I just don't think that maybe is a realistic goal. And I've read too many books on this, listened to Greg Maddox and stuff like this. I know I'm a fan now, but I go back to like my playing days, is you don't want to put numbers on goals when it comes to stuff like this, because if you say, I want to run for 100 yards per game, that's what I want my average to be. What if after 4 games you're at 115 yards per game? Well, now I don't have to work as hard, right? I mean, I've established there's only 13 more games left. I have a number now at 115 per game. Like, I can actually average 83 the rest of the year and actually still hit my goal, right? Well, now you got to change your expectations. People get mad at us, right, Kevin, when we're like, you got to stick
Yes.
with the expectation you had in
Yes.
week 1 rather than what your expectations are in week 11 or week 12. Like, that's really
Absolutely.
stupid. You need to read books on stuff like this, on how you change your goals and your expectations as you go. But a lot of times what people that do this, psychologists and stuff that work with sports people that have worked with me, is you don't want to so much put a goal on what you want to do on a number, because that number should change as you go along. So you can go into a game and maybe say, I want to do this. But the other thing too is you don't want to discourage yourself on, I want to get back to 108.7 yards per game. Well, what if after 5 or 6 games, for some reason, it's not going your way and you're averaging 85 yards per game?
Yep.
Now your expectations have to change a little bit, because you don't want to get so depressed and discouraged that things aren't coming
Sure.
close to your expectations, that now you're totally defeated after 4 or 5 games when you still have 10 to 15 games, whatever to play. And so I don't know the exact number. I'm not him, but I think that he can average what he's done. I think he can get close to 100 yards per game, but that shouldn't be his goal. If I'm Ezekiel Elliott and I'm his psychologist, and I'm not a psychologist at all, but working through psychologists through sports stuff, is you don't want to put numbers on your goals, because those can discourage you or have lack of motivation at times.
Okay. A lot of people are with you about it. From the 214, I'm optimistic because I believe. And then from the 956, I love Mike's take. I felt the same for a while now. From the 214, I love how Zeke isn't satisfied. There's a lot of stars that get satisfied after proving themselves only 1 or 2 years. And maybe that was the thing. Maybe that was Zeke. And then he was like, well, this isn't going to work. But I know you said don't ascribe numbers to it, and I get that.
We can as fans and stuff, but I don't like, if Zeke did it, if you're telling me Zeke did it, the psychologist who's the Cowboys guy, the best ones that I've ever been around and the ones that I read are like putting numbers on specific things. And Greg Maddux, the greatest pitcher of our time, said like, you don't want to do stuff like that because it can discourage you or have lack of motivation at times.